Weeds are generally regarded to be the most serious problem for farmers. Weeds compete with crop plants for water, nutrient and sunlight. As a result, the crop yield is reduced. Chemical herbicides are widely used by many farmers because they are cost effective and efficient at killing weed. And most attractive herbicide for agricultural production should be somewhat selective. That means it should not kill the crop plants. It should kill only the weeds. Hello and welcome to some online class. This is Dr. Subrat Kumar Mohanty. Today we shall discuss about Roundup Ready Soybean. Roundup Ready Soybean is a genetically modified soybean that is resistant to glyphosate. What is glyphosate? Glyphosate is an active ingredient in the herbicide Roundup. Roundup is the brand name of a systemic broad-spectrum glyphosate-based herbicide that was originally produced by Monsanto. Herbicides generally work by targeting metabolic steps that are vital for plant survival. For example, glyphosate inhibits the synthesis of aromatic amino acids that include phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. And these aromatic amino acids are vital for plant survival. When the synthesis of these amino acids are inhibited, in that case the plant gets killed. So the glyphosate, which is the active ingredient of the herbicide Roundup, inhibit a specific enzyme. That enzyme is known as enol pyruvate shikimate 3-phosphate synthase. And this enzyme is responsible for the conversion of shikimate 3-phosphate to 5-enol pyruvate shikimate 3-phosphate. This particular reaction is inhibited by the glyphosate. This is the pathway for the synthesis of aromatic amino acid. Shikimate is converted to shikimate 3-phosphate. Shikimate 3-phosphate is converted to 5-enol pyruvate shikimate 3-phosphate. This reaction, the conversion of shikimate 3-phosphate to 5-enol pyruvate shikimate 3-phosphate, is catalyzed by the enzyme enol pyruvate shikimate 3-phosphate synthase. After its synthesis, EPSP is converted to chorismate, and chorismate can be converted into phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. So glyphosate inhibits this particular enzyme, and this particular enzyme is responsible for the synthesis of EPSP. So when the synthesis of EPSP inhibited, the aromatic amino acid synthesis do not occur. So the plant gets killed. The Roundup Ready soybean contains a specific version of EPSPS that is resistant to glyphosate. The gene for glyphosate resistant enol pyruvate shikimate 3-phosphate synthase was taken from Agrobacterium cp4. This gene was isolated and was cloned. The gene for EPSPS was inserted into the soybean with the help of a plasmid that is known as PBGMG-TO4. This plasmid contains two CP4 genes. The CP4 gene code for the enzyme EPSPS. In addition to this plasmid also contains a marker gene known as Gus gene. And Gus gene was taken from E. coli. Gus gene code for the enzyme beta-glucuronidase. In soybean plant, genetic transformation by agrobacterium mediated procedure is not effective. So initially particle bombardment method was used to transfer this particular gene into the Roundup Ready soybean. One more point is the shikimate pathway is active in chloroplast. So a DNA sequence that was taken from petunia. The DNA sequence that code for the chloroplast transit peptide was taken from petunia, and this particular DNA sequence was fused with the 5' end of the EPSP gene. So by fusing this DNA sequence code for chloroplast transit peptide. By fusing this particular sequence with the 5' end of the EPSPS gene, it was ensured that the EPSPS enzyme after its synthesis can move into the chloroplast with the help of transit peptide. And after moving into the chloroplast, EPSPS will catalyze this particular reaction, so the synthesis will continue. In addition to this, the gene for EPSPS was placed under the control of a strong promoter that is known as 35S promoter. And this 35S promoter is a strong downstream promoter that was taken from cauliflower mosaic virus. Due to the presence of CP4 EPSPS gene, Roundup ready soybean is resistant to glyphosate, so its growth is not inhibited, whereas the version of EPSPS that is present in weeds is sensitive to glyphosate, so weeds are killed. So friends, this is a technology which was used to engineer soybean. Like Roundup ready soybean, there are other plants like Roundup ready maize. Friends, please share, like and subscribe this video, and also please give your comments. Thank you.